China's BRI is taking over Latin America with this. China is competing with the United States for influence in Latin America. In this video, we will be discussing the truth about China's involvement in Latin America and what it has done to the local population. Latin America is going all out, strengthening commercial and diplomatic ties with China while cutting off the United States. In just a few years, more than half of Latin America's countries have joined China's Belt and Road Initiative. China has picked the region to enhance its infrastructure since it is in severe. In 2018, the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, a major organization in the area comprised of all 33 Latin American countries, formally declared Latin America to be the natural extension of the 21st century Silk Road. This Latin American alliance was formed in 2011 to challenge the United States' decade-long influence and meddling in the area. It is part of a larger transition marked by the collapse of U.S. hegemony and the growth of regional alliances. But what impact has the UK had on the region, and how has it benefited ordinary Latin Americans? According to the Western media, China's BRI is nothing more than a predatory debt trap. Let us go right to the point. Latin America is dealing with a major problem. For decades, undeveloped and underfunded infrastructure has stifled the region's economic growth. It ranks 5th out of 6 regions in terms of quality, only ahead of sub-Saharan Africa. To compete in the global economy, the region urgently requires improved highways, ports, and energy infrastructures. China has surpassed the United States as the global leader in massive infrastructure projects and renewable energy. As a result, the South American region has been eager to capitalize on Chinese expertise in order to move their economy into the contemporary era. At the same time, China's rising interest in South America is primarily motivated by the country's demand for minerals and other critical commodities. China thinks that stronger trade and investment links with Latin American countries will assure future access to these resources. Argentina, for example, has long sought to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels and deploy more renewable energy sources. This push has become a top priority in recent years. In the past, the country has struggled to meet its continuously increasing energy demands, which show no indications of abating. To assist fulfilling this critical goal, it has sought foreign investments in its wind, solar, hydropower, nuclear, and other renewable energy industries, with China playing a key role. South America has the second largest economy after Brazil. Argentina formally joined the BRI last year, but it has already been a key economic partner for China and a recipient of Chinese investment for nearly a decade. Today, China is the country's second largest trading partner after Brazil, and one of its largest sources of foreign direct investment, or FDI, far surpassing the United States. One of the most significant Chinese-financed energy projects is the Achua 3, a nuclear power station now under construction on the outskirts of Buenos Aires. Argentina has a long history of using nuclear power and is committed to developing its nuclear energy capability. Thus, the signing of this agreement with China was eagerly anticipated. The power plant would use a new type of nuclear reactor created by China called the Hualong 1, which has already been in operation for many years in both China and Pakistan. When completed, this project is estimated to provide about 7,000 jobs and 1.2 gigatons of power. That is approximately the same amount of power as all other nuclear power plants in Argentina combined. In other terms, this facility will roughly treble the percentage of nuclear power and prevent nearly 8 million tons of CO2 emissions per year. China is also funding the development of 2 hydropower dams in Patagonia, Argentina. Hydropower accounts for more than a quarter of Argentina's power generation, and the country is eager to increase this figure even more. Former Argentina President Mauricio Macri went on to add that this initiative will be a watershed moment for Patagonia. It will provide energy for 1.5 million houses in Argentina, renewable energy in a province poised to become a renewable energy powerhouse. He went on to say that the project will fuel the expansion and development of Argentina's overall energy industry. When completed, this project is estimated to provide approximately 20,000 people with employment. But what is the secret of China's effective collaboration? Contrary to common assumption in the West, China did not lead the charge in these projects and did not put pressure on Argentina to accept its offer. Instead, through years of diplomatic outreach to China, Argentine government officials and corporate executives have spearheaded these investments. In 2016, the Argentine government began a nationwide program in which it runs auctions for renewable energy projects on a regular basis. Foreign governments and corporations can offer investment proposals, and Chinese firms are considered as viable partners due to China's position as the world leader in renewable energy. Argentina's government has established a mutually advantageous relationship in which the country benefits from Chinese financing and global experience in renewables, while China has access to the natural resources it solely requires. As previously stated, this clearly demonstrates how Chinese lending is anything but predatory, but rather symbiotic in nature. Throughout South America, such win-win arrangements have been implemented. China's involvement in the region, however, is not confined to renewable energy. It extends to other fundamentally vital areas to any nation, such as transportation, which has a direct impact on local people. This brings us to Chile, a BRI member since 2018 and the driving force behind South America's connection with China. Chile was the first South American country to establish diplomatic relations with China, and the two countries have a long history together. In 1970, he accepted the PRC as China's legitimate government. Chile was also the first non-Asian country to negotiate a free trade agreement with China. It was signed in 2005 and allows Chile to export 98% of its products to China duty-free, making it one of the world's most generous FTAs. As a result, bilateral trade has exploded. According to the Central Bank of Chile, China's part of Chilean exports has neatly tripled since signing and now amounts for nearly 40% of the country's exports, more than doubling the U.S. proportion. According to the Inter-American Development Bank, more than 60% of Latin America's population lacks access to high-quality digital infrastructure. Therefore, the region has been eager to sign DSR deals with China to help overcome the digital divide. Huawei, for example, is leading the charge in creating the region's 5G networks and will be included in the 5G plans of Chile, Peru, Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia. For nearly a decade, Huawei has been the country's top network equipment provider, collaborating with local universities and research institutes to create joint laboratories as well as research and training centers. Every year, more than 2,000 people are trained at one of these centers in Sao Paulo. Huawei has also become a big participant in Mexico, where it has assisted the government in building the largest public Wi-Fi network in Latin America, and has offered technical support for the country's digital divide plan. Huawei and China Unicom have also led proposals to construct huge submarine telecommunication networks across the Atlantic Ocean. These networks link South America to Europe and Africa. One such project connects Brazil to Africa and today has the largest data transmission capacity between Africa and South America. In conclusion, practically all Latin American countries have profited in some way from China's involvement in the region, whether through recent British ventures or long-term bilateral trade with China. Furthermore, these collaborations have been mutually beneficial, with the area benefiting from China's world-class infrastructure and digital technologies. Yet, China has access to massive mineral resources and other critical commodities. This, in turn, has directly helped local residents to a large extent. These projects and their associated partnerships are only projected to grow in scale and breadth, with economists predicting that China-Latin American trade would surpass $700 billion by 2035. That's all. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel and ring the bell icon to get more videos.